Hello, Bruce Scholars. It's Mr. Dow here. I really want to start off by saying I miss you guys. I'm hoping that everybody is safe, everybody's healthy, making sure that you are doing those things at home, washing your hands, using hand sanitizer, using disinfectant spray. Um, Whenever you go outside, come back in, making sure you're doing those things that will make sure that you are staying safe, being healthy. I hope your families are healthy as well, your friends. Make sure you do check in on people and look after everybody. Okay. Um, Again, I'm here, video lesson with you guys, and in the situation that we're in right now, I know, right, there's a lot of fear and a lot of worry that's going on because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who may be sick, who's not sick. So a lot of that can cause a lot of worry, a lot of fear. So we are, unfortunately, in this period that has caused us to make some changes, big changes. You all can't go to school right now. I can't go to work to see you and talk with you and interact with you in ways to help you throughout your school day. We can't go and visit family and friends. Um, Basically, supposed to stay at home. Some parents can't go to work, and that can cause a lot of fear and concern and worry, even with adults, because they don't know what's going to happen next or what decisions are going to be made by the people that are in charge. So all of those things can are big changes, and those big changes can be scary. Okay? They can be scary. So again, this lesson is going to be on fear and worry, and so we're going to start talking about that. Um, Before we really get started, who has ever been scared? Who's ever been scared? Mm, I'm going to raise my hand on that one. I have been scared. I've been scared a few times. Okay. Um, we all are scared of certain things, or certain things cause us to be scared. Okay, I don't care how big the person is, how tough they may seem, or whatever. There's always going to be something that scares somebody. Okay, uh, but you know what? It's okay to be scared. It is okay to be scared. But what isn't okay is letting those things that scare you cause great fear in you, and that they cause you to shut down. So we don't want that to happen. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to ask questions. Okay to be worried about stuff, but we don't want that to become this great fear that takes control of us. Okay, so and that's going to be one of our terms. Fear is our term. Does anyone know what fear is? All right. I bet you gave some outstanding definitions. I know it because you guys are so smart. So, but this is the definition that I have for you. Okay. It's an emotion, and we've talked about emotions before. It's an emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous. Okay. So it's that emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous. All right. So fear, that emotion can make us feel really weird. It can make us feel really weird. Okay. One of the things that can happen is your heart starts to beat faster. Okay. That's a physical reaction. Okay. So your heart starts beating faster. Just think about when maybe you're turning a corner and somebody jumps out and boom, they do that at you. You may jump and your heart is beating a little faster. Okay. So that's one of the things, reactions to fear. Uh, Another one is uh, we may uh, not be able to respond or do what we think needs to be done in a fearful situation. Uh, you may see people see an event occur, but because they're so locked up with fear, they aren't able to move. They may stand there and look at what's happening and not respond to the situation. I'm sure, for example, I'm sure you've seen these movies where something is about to happen. Maybe a car is out of control or a bus is out of control and is heading towards whoever the actor or actress is, and they're just standing there looking at it while it's coming towards them. Okay, that's an example of being kind of locked up in fear and you're not paralyzed with fear and you're not able to move. You're just stuck. Your mind or your brain may be telling you run, but your legs, your feet aren't responding. Okay, so you become paralyzed with fear. Some people also get nervous and they may not speak in a certain way. They may stutter their words or trip over certain words when they're scared. Their mouth may get dry when they get scared. They may start to sweat a lot when they get scared. Some people, well, we talked about some people get paralyzed with fear. Some people aren't paralyzed with fear. What they do is actually run. Uh, I'm sure some of you, if you think about it, if you went through our if you went through our haunted house during Halloween, um, some of you that were going through the haunted house as you went through, and the different students that were part of the haunted house jumped out at you or yelled at you or whatever, you jumped, you ran. Some of you did that. So that fear can cause you to run away because you don't want to stay around and see what that actually was. You just want to get away from that situation to protect yourself. So your body does come up with all these things to protect itself. You may run away. Um, your heart beats faster. It's trying to pump more blood into your body. So if you do, give you that extra energy. So uh, gotta look for those physical reactions, those psychological reactions that happen when we are afraid, when we're in that fearful situation. Now, in discussing fear and worry, I have an activity that's going to be on fear and worry. It's called the worry scale. Okay. So what I want you to do real quick, I want you to go get either notebook paper or copy paper. You only need one sheet, pencil, and you can get crayons if you like. So we'll pause real quick while you do that. All right. So what you should have is your notebook paper, your copy paper, pencil, and crayons if you like. If you want the crayons, you don't necessarily need the crayons, but if you like to have them, that's awesome. All right. So on our activity sheet, you see at the top part of the activity sheet, you have five blanks. And on those blanks, what I want you to do is to write down five things that scare you or worry you. Five things that scare you or worry you. Okay? Now, on the bottom, what you're going to do is we actually have our worry scale. And here you'll see on one end of the scale, it is not worried, not scared. So that's going to be in the green. As you move over, it goes from dark green to light green to yellow to where you're now becoming worried. You're now starting to become scared. Okay. Then you shift over to the other end, and it goes from yellow to red And here you see that now you're dealing with something that now you're really scared. You're so worried or you're so scared that it kind of takes control of you. You don't, it's all that you think about. Okay. You're so worried about that. That kind of becomes the thing that controls you. So again, let's look at it again. The top part, we have our 5 things that we're going to write about that scare us, that we're fearful of, that we worry about. Then we're going to take look at each one of those things and see where on this scale, and I want you to draw the scale, where on this scale would each one of those go? So for the first bullet, where would that fall at on your scale? Would it be, I'm not really scared, I'm worried about that? Or would it be, I'm worried, scared, but not a whole lot? Or would it be, I'm so worried, scared, where that's all that I think about when I'm in that situation? Okay. So make sure you do draw the scale. That's going to be important. All right. Now, you need to come up with those 5 things that worry you or scare you or cause fear. Now, remember, you need 5, at least 5. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Okay. Mr. Dow is afraid of mice. I know, sounds terrible, huh? But I'm afraid of mice. Uh, Not afraid of mice where I think they're going to attack me or bite me or whatever it is. Uh, I'm afraid of mice because I know that as they move about, they leave droppings, they leave germs, they leave all this nasty stuff that can make us sick. They even carry different diseases. And I think about that. They get into your food, they can climb on your plates and silverware, and they can be all over the countertop. And then you come in and you put your hand on, that stuff just that's what bothers me about mice. And so, and we know we no matter sometimes no matter how clean you are at home, they can still find their way inside. And so I make sure that, hey, if I know there's one around, I'm going to get rid of it as soon as possible. So that's one of the things that scares me. Now, since that's my thing, that's one of mine. If I look at the scale, okay, now I can't say that I'm not worried or scared because I am, but I'm not all the way over here where I'm just terrified. So I'm going to probably come to the middle or a little in between these two, but more towards the middle of being worried or scared. They do bother me. Okay. They do bother me. Now, if I see one, I'm not going to get up and jump up and run away and climb on top of a table or grab somebody and push them in front of me so I can get away from them. But I'm not trying to run up on them either. So uh, just want to make sure. Now, Mr. Dow is not going to be climbing up on the table and screaming, "Oh my gosh, there's a mouse!" Okay. Now, that was my thing, and I told you where it would fall on the scale for me would be towards the middle. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is after you write your 5, I want you to look at each one and figure out where on the scale would each one of my fears or worries be. Where would they be at on this scale? Okay. I want you to take time and maybe do, I know you should have all 5 by now, but I want you to take time and maybe do the first 2, get those down at least so we can uh, take a look at that. All right. So look at your first one. I want you to take a look at your first one. And then take a look at it. Look at your scale. Where on your scale would that fear be? Where would that worry be at on that scale? Would it be, okay, would it be not scared, worried? Would it be worried, scared, or so worried or scared it's all that you can think about? Okay. Now, I know I'm not going to be able to hear your answers that you give, but what I want you to do is take a look at that list, and I want you to think about the ones that fall in that range of being read, and that you're so worried or you're so scared. It's all that you can think about. Okay, I want you to look at those and think about what can you do to move past that? How can you move past that? How can you move past being so afraid or so worried about that thing that it affects you to where that's all that you think about? I know it may be hard. Uh, and I'm sure, and I'm gonna take a wild guess. One of the things that I know a lot of kids are scared of or worried about, fearful of, is the dark. Okay. Um, it's hard to explain why, and maybe it's not as hard to explain because I guess when it's dark, it's hard to really see everything, especially if you're in your bedroom. And the crazy thing is, you know where everything is in your bedroom. But when the light goes off, it seems like things change. That jacket that was sitting on the chair now looks like something different. It may look like somebody's actually sitting in the chair, or you may hear a noise in the hallway, and your mind is telling you, "Oh my gosh, there's somebody, coming down the hall to come into my room." Or you may hear a certain noise in your room that's there all the time, but now because the lights are out, you really can't see exactly what it is. um, you become really afraid. And then a lot of kids, especially smaller kids, may think something's under their bed because that's not a place that's normally looked at, and it looks like a good hiding place, especially in the dark. So you may have that fear of thinking that something is in under your bed, in the closet. So you have to try to work past those things. And let's take a look at this situation that we're in right now. It's not a whole lot of information that we may have as individuals. We try to get as much information as we can by watching the news or looking up stuff on the internet. But we get a lot of conflicting stuff because some people are saying, hey, this is what's going on. And then you get a totally different source saying something on the opposite end. You may have some people saying, hey, I've got this cure, where you see doctors now on the news saying there is no cure. Okay, so you have to uh, try to look at all the information out there before you react to what's going on. Okay? But this what we're going through right now with the coronavirus, it has caused a lot of concern and worry and fear with parents and with students as well. So it's okay. Again, it's okay to be afraid, but we don't want to be so locked up with fear that it takes over our lives. All right. Again, but looking at those things that cause us a lot of fear, how can we move past that? What can we do to move past that? Okay. One thing that we can do is talk to parents. Talk to your parents. If it's questions about the coronavirus, if it's you being afraid in your bedroom at night, uh, if it's you having to take the dog outside at night and you're afraid to do that, talk to them about it. Explain to them what it is that you're afraid of. Um, because you gotta remember your parents were kids too, so they had some of the same fears that you have right now. So don't be afraid to talk to them and explain to them what it is that you're afraid of, and they could probably help you get past that fear. They might give you some tips that they used when they were a kid to help them move past that fear. Also, another thing would be to figure out what it is about that situation or about that thing that causes you to be so afraid. Okay. Like I said, with mice, it's because I know all the nastiness that can happen with them. So that's what causes fear with me. Again, I'm not afraid that they're going to run up my pants leg or they're going to jump out of the vent or off the ceiling fan and attack me or anything like that. Not worried about that kind of stuff. I'm worried about the stuff that I really can't see with my eye, and I don't know where they've been. I don't know if they touched this. I don't know if they ran across this. I don't know if they picked this up and are um, whatever it is, I don't know. So it's always that kind of fear, but I don't let it take over uh, my life. I don't think about it all the time. I'm not worried about it all the time. I just make sure that I take care of myself. I make sure I wash my hands. I make sure that if I get a dish or cup, I either rinse it off or wash it off and use it. All right. Another thing that you can do is simply confront the situation that you're afraid of. Okay. If it's the dark, you might want to change up what you're doing. If you're currently sleeping with a lamp on or a night light on, maybe, the first few days, keep using your night light, keep using your lamp. Then um, the next few days, you can tell your parents, hey, if my bedtime is at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, they have to turn the night light off or turn that lamp off. Uh, then a few days after that, uh, then once you go to bed, it's no lamp, no light, night light. So you can just work your way into it and just confront it that way. I'm not asking you to just say, okay, I'm afraid of the dark. I'm just not going to turn any lights on. So that may be a big jump for some of you. So you can work your way into it, but make sure you do talk with your parents. Have a conversation with your parents. Let them know what's bothering you. Again, if it's this situation dealing with the coronavirus, talk with them. See how they feel. See what information they may have. Uh, Talk with them if you've been hearing certain things or you saw certain things on the internet. Tell them, well, this is what I heard, and let them share with you their opinion so they can let you know whether it's true or false. If they don't know, then both of you can look it up together and find out together. That could be something that you all can do together to figure out what's going on. But we want to make sure we get past those fearful situations. We don't want to be so fearful uh, where our bodies are shut down or are locked up in that fear and it's taking over our lives. We don't want to think about that fear all the time. I don't want you waking up in the morning thinking about corona. I don't want you to be eating lunch in the afternoon thinking about corona. I don't want you to go to bed at night thinking about corona. I want you to continue to live your life, do the things that you enjoy. If you go outside, just remember, stay in your yard or stay in the backyard or in the front. Uh, Once you come back in, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, whatever it is. If you go to the store with your parents, you just may have to be in a situation where you have to go with them. Make sure you have gloves or you have a face mask. Um, Once you get back in the car from leaving from the store, you have hand sanitizer that you can use, or once you make it back home, you have hand sanitizer that you can use, or you can just go and wash your hands. Uh, Maybe spray disinfectant spray on the doorknobs, on the locks, so that you taking care of those situations. So, I mean, I even know people that have sprayed disinfectant spray on their shoes once they come back in from going to the store. So, whatever it is to help you feel safe, make sure you're doing those things, but make sure you are knowledgeable about what you should be doing. Again, don't stop living your life and doing the things that you think are fun, um, but take advantage of these situations too and spend time with your parents. Uh, do things that as a family so that you can enjoy each other's company. Um, but don't live in fear. Don't feel like you're locked in the house. Go outside. It's okay. Go ride your bike. Uh, you can walk around the block with your mom, with your dad, whoever it is. Um, spend time with each other, but just be careful at the same time. Okay. We may not be able to go see Gigi, but, you know, you can always call her on the phone. You can do video chat with her. Um, do those things because you want to make sure that she's safe and healthy and that you're also safe and healthy. So, okay. All right. Thank you uh, for watching my video. Um, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always go to Bruce's social media page. The school counselor's website will be on there. You can click on there and you can leave a message for myself or uh, Miss Brookins. I have grades K, 2, and 4. She has grades 1, 3, and 5. You can click the button for our names and send an email, and you can actually schedule a day and time that you would like to talk with us. And uh, what we like to use is Teams because it's easier to really get in touch with you through Teams. But if you can't do Teams, we can even try Zoom. So take care of yourselves. Let us know if you need help with anything. Uh, Continue to tune in with Bruce's morning announcements every Monday. Um, let us know what we can do. Go to the Bruce social media pages, Facebook, Instagram. Uh, the school counselor's website will be on there. Contact us. Let us know uh, what you may need to talk about. Okay, if you have any concerns or anything like that. Uh, I've enjoyed this. I hope that you continue to be safe and healthy. Take care. I'll see you soon.